Hey everybody, this is Bryce from Henrico County Recreation and Parks, and I'm here today to welcome you to the Clarke-Palmore House. Clarke-Palmore House is located on Marion Hill. It's about 1 mile south of Rockett's Landing. So right now as we sit, the James River is just about a half mile that way. Rockett's Landing is behind us, and Verina District continues out that way to the east. The county acquired the property in 1999 from Vera Palmore Morton. The building was rehabbed and opened to the public in 2007. So Marion Hill was started as a development in about 1811 when a man by the name of Neil McCool purchased the property and started selling off separate lots. This property was purchased in about 1819 or so, and the first resident and first builder of the original portion of the house was a man by the name of Daniel Higginbottom. Daniel Higginbottom sold the property in about 1855 to John Clarke, and he built the second addition to the house. Today we're going to take a closer look at these additions and talk a little bit about the family and the architecture of the facility. And on part 2 of this video, you're going to actually take a tour inside with my buddy Lisa. So the first thing a lot of people notice when they walk up to the property are these large trees right here. They're called Osage orange trees. They're native to the Midwestern part of the country and were first brought here by Lewis and Clark during their expedition of the Louisiana Purchase. Aside from their unusual look, they also bear a very large unusual fruit called an Osage orange, or a hedge apple. They're about the size and density of a softball, and during the summer and fall, they begin to bloom and fall off the trees. As we take a look at the side of the house, we use some clues to try to determine when the different phases of construction occurred. If you look at this side of the house, you'll notice that right here we have what are called ghost imprints. These are what the windows used to be. So this bottom half of the house originally contained 2 windows down here and only 1 floor. That part was built in about 1819 or so. You'll also notice the brickwork. We have right here what are called stretchers, the bricks that are facing long ways, and the bricks right here are called headers, the ones that are facing the short end out. In the bottom part of the house, we have 3 stretchers and 1 header. As you go up through the top of the house, it changes brick patterns. You've got 5 stretchers and a header. This is indicative of different building episodes, which means the top half was built at a different time than the bottom half. The top half of the house was built in about 1855 or so when the Clarks purchased the property. So I'm now standing on the porch of what was the actual 1910 addition. We can tell this by the fact that it is built of wood frame and clapboard as opposed to the brick of the original house. Another clue that kind of gives it away is when you're building a house, it's a lot easier just to build a rectangular house. So the main part of the house is rectangular. This part sticks out from the back, so it's obviously an addition. We're now standing in front of what was once the kitchen and eventually, over time, evolved into a barn. We know it started off as a kitchen, and it was probably built around the same time as the original house was. You can see by the ghosts left on the outside of the building that a door was once there. And when they turned into a barn in about 1910, this became the door, and they added the loft up top. When a lot of people see outdoor kitchens, their original instinct is to think that the kitchen was built outside because of the risk of fire. While that might be partly true, it is not completely true. There are several reasons for this. In a small house like this, you're going to have the smells and the heat from the kitchen, which is definitely going to impact the family. And it also has to do a lot with slavery at the time. The enslaved people were intentionally kept as separate from the house. This would have been their space, their functional space, and the white family would have lived in the house, and that was their space. They used this to keep the identity separate, to show their superiority over their enslaved people, and that propagated throughout the years. So I'm now standing outside of the last of the original outbuildings here at Clarke-Palmore. This building was initially a smokehouse, built probably in 1855 at the same time as the second addition to the house. Sometime around 1910, when they added the final addition, they converted it to a well house. I'd like to thank you all for joining me today, taking this brief tour of the Clarke-Palmore House grounds. Please join us next time when we take a look inside the house and learn a little bit more about the families that lived here. Look forward to seeing you soon, and we'll see you next time.